LeBron James has made his decision. He is headed to the Philadelphia 76ers.
James for the win. It's gone. LeBron James at the buzzer.
He got James.
Well, click, click, get ready for your Kodak moment.
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
Have you ever felt embarrassed to be a fan of your own favorite team? Because that's what I'm feeling right now. For those of you who don't know, LeBron James just went to the Philadelphia 76ers. The 76ers. What? I don't know why he wants to go to Philly, but I'm angry. I'm angry. I feel like being a fan of sports has just been a ticket to misery. Like, as a Bulls fan, I genuinely can't think of the last time that something good happened, like really good happened to this team, and it wasn't immediately snuffed out 2 days or 3 weeks later. I really can't. And I'm confused because it's not like Philly is just this like, oh, let's all go to Philly, like great place to be. Nobody wants to live in Philly. So I don't know why he went. Whatever. LeBron was just the start, okay? I feel like being a fan of the Bulls has been torture since day one. As a child, obviously I was a Derrick Rose fan. I didn't really understand what was going on, but my parents, my family were up there watching those Bulls games. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you know, I'm a fan of the Bulls. I like these guys. And then Derrick Rose goes and gets hurt.
Rose came down bad on his left foot. See him holding onto his knee and down.
And I think what people don't know, people don't talk about when it comes to Derrick Rose, is that he didn't just get hurt. He didn't just like tear his ACL and he was a bum for the rest of his career. He hurt himself, and then 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 there's a picture somewhere on the internet of Derrick Rose just standing there, and there's a little pointer on basically every part of his body saying, here's where he got hurt, here's where he got hurt, here's where he got hurt, here's where he got hurt. You know how unlucky one has to be to suffer that many injuries? Anyways, so Derrick Rose, right? He gets hurt, and he's kind of subpar, in and out of injuries for years after that point. But he does come back, and there was one point as a Bulls fan where Derrick Rose came back, and I was at my peak in happiness. The Eastern Conference semifinals, Game 3. This was the big moment. We took one game in Cleveland, so the series is tied 1-1. The game is tied. It's 96-96. Derrick Rose gets the ball with 3 seconds left. Mike Dunleavy looking, finds Rose. Rose about to get open, fires a 3. Bang. One of the greatest moments of my sports career was waking up the next day and seeing that happened. Because I'm pretty sure I got sent to bed. Horrible decision by my parents, by the way. To see that we won that game, I was like, okay, we can win the series. Like, it's 2-1, you know? It's 2-1, and we're still in Chicago for the next game. So if we win the next one, we're up 3-1, and LeBron doesn't come back from 3-1 leads. Like, we can win this series, you know? The next game, not later in the series, not Game 7. No. The next game in Chicago, 84-84. LeBron James gets the ball in the corner, game winner.
LeBron James at the buzzer.
The very next game. It was over after that. Momentum sucked out of the building, energy gone. Series was over. We lost in 6. Since 2015, for you guys who don't watch sports, how many times do you think the Bulls have been back to the playoffs, not even to that round, to the playoffs since that series? I'll wait. 2 times. Do you know how many years it's been since 2015? Pokemon Go wasn't even out in 2015. It's been 11 years, and we've been to the playoffs 2 times. 2. And the play-in exists. All we have to do is win a couple play-in games, and we're in. It's been a field of just trash management. We trade Derrick Rose after that season to the Knicks. So I have to now be a fan of D Rose on random teams, like the Pistons. I don't want to be a Pistons fan. Nobody wants to be a Pistons fan. Anyways, Derrick Rose gets traded. So now we have to rebuild the team, you know? And it wasn't looking pretty. We lose. We made the playoffs in 2017. We lose. We didn't even get to play in the bubble in 2020. LeBron wins a chip that year, so now I hate him even more. And eventually we're at the point where we have a pretty decent core. You know, we've got DeMar DeRozan, who's a good scorer. We have Lonzo Ball, who is a really good passing guard. And we're making some noise, you know. We're number 1 in the East. Okay, yeah, number 1 in the East. Let's go. And then Lonzo gets hurt. And we're right back down to mediocrity. I don't understand why being a fan of this team entails such a fate. Why is it that anytime we have a good guard, they get hurt? I don't know if it's a curse for MJ getting 6 chips, but I don't like it. You would think, like, oh, Josiah, but if you guys have been a bad team for so long, you know, shouldn't you get some draft picks that can really elevate your stock? Not really. We either make stupid decisions with those draft picks, or we draft the worst possible player that we can, and or develop them very poorly. And unfortunately, that does bring me to a player that I don't really want to discuss. His name is Patrick Williams. And it's sad because he played for this team right here, who we're going to talk about in a minute. Patrick Williams was the best player on this team, and he got drafted to the Bulls. So, you know, when it happened, I was like, oh, great, cool. I didn't understand, like, good drafting back then. So I was like, great, Florida State, Chicago. What's wrong with that?
Just the best thing for the team at the time. Just meaning he was ass.
A lot was wrong with that decision. This most recent year, I was feeling good at the beginning of the season as a Bulls fan because we went 6-0 to start the year. I was going around my dorms at school talking about we're in the 6-win club. You know, we're doing it big. As soon as I put on that Derrick Rose jersey and exited my dorm, I kid you not, we lost some, like, 14 of the next 20 games. It was an atrocity. It's a constant reminder that as soon as I enjoy my fandom of the team, that's when they perform the worst. I feel like I'm Brad Pitt in Moneyball, but I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of the team, but it feels like whenever I'm a fan, God says, oh, for real? Okay, I got you real quick. I went to an Atlanta Hawks game with my dad in, I don't know what year it was, like maybe it was 2014, 15, probably around that time. And I go and I'm thinking, yo, it's the Hawks. Like, Atlanta wasn't really on nothing back then. So I was thinking, yeah, we can beat the Hawks. We lost by like 15 points that game. I had a burger. I remember I was eating a burger and I had the aluminum foil left over. And for the rest of the game, I just squeezed it in anger. I just squeezed a dead hamburger. That was all I could do while we got trashed on by some players from ATL. I can't even name any. Al Horford? I don't know. On to Florida State. Okay, Florida State is an entirely different fiasco than the Chicago Bulls. At least with the Bulls, I can say, oh, it's poor management, yada, yada, yada. With the FSU Seminoles, it's just constant high, low, high, low, high, low, trash. High, low, trash. Disappointment. The amount of horrible outings I've seen from this team in basketball and in football now too is just so sad. Once again, as a kid, like, times were good. You know, we won a championship. The football team did in 2013. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is the place to be. I grew up in Tallahassee. My family lives there. I went to Doak for a couple games. I went to the Tucker Center. As a kid, I was a fan. Like, really a fan, because I lived in the city and amongst other fans. Every week, church on Sunday, everyone would be talking about yesterday's game. So I was a big FSU fan. The basketball team was never really the topic of discussion because Florida State's not a basketball school, you know? It's a football school. Basketball, it happens. You might go to the game, but we're all waiting for football season, really. In 2020 and 2019, our team started getting really bad in football. Like, it was horrible. The team sucked. Willie Taggart era. Y'all don't know nothing about the Willie Taggart era. It was that bad. But the basketball team stepped up. And they stepped up pretty big time because they were putting belt to some of these teams. I remember I had a personal beef with the Louisville Cardinals, specifically Jordan Nwora. You know who you are. I hope you're watching this, Jordan, because we beat you multiple times. There is one game that I will never forget. I was living in New Jersey at this time because I moved, but I was still watching Florida State games. I had just finished a basketball practice, and I remember watching the telecast. I couldn't see it, but I could hear it, or it was on my phone or something like that. My dad has it like 5 seconds ahead, so he sees what happens before me. But there's this play at the end of the game versus Louisville in the Tucker Center. And we go down. Hey! Dunk on Jordan Nwora's sorry head. I've never been so happy. Aside from that Derrick Rose Butterbeer, I've never been so happy. Punched it on him. My dad goes crazy. I didn't see it yet. And then when I finally see it, I go nuts too. Amazing moment, right? Louisville was a top-ranked team at the time, so we shoot up in the rankings, like we're looking good. The season gets canceled. And the season got canceled because of COVID. COVID literally started right when the tournament would have started. And Florida State was ranked 4th. This exact team, all the dudes who signed this ball, were ranked 4th in the country. We could have had the best run Florida State basketball has ever had, and it got snuffed out. Now we're not a good team anymore, and we're under new coaching, so we'll see what happens. Patrick Williams goes on to be a dud for the Chicago Bulls. What I will say is that Devin Vassell, he turned out pretty good. I don't like the Spurs, but he played good for them in the finals. But that's the basketball team. Let's move on to the absolute dumpster fire that is the Florida State football team. Guys, I wish I could put into words what it's like to be a fan of this football team. The highs are so high. They are astronomically high highs. And the lows are like getting punched in the stomach with a 30-pound dumbbell that has a laser sight on
it. Yeah, what's up? Nigga, did you put a laser sight on a dumbbell? What's up, nigga? I sound from Dusseldorf. Now what's up?
Like I said, we won the chip in 2013. I'm like 7 or 8 at this time. So I'm like old enough to care, you know? Like, okay, national championship. Like, this is what's expected of this team. Cool. All downhill from there. The next year, Jameis Winston gets into the crab leg incident, and he has that horrible, horrible fumble versus Oregon, and we lose that game. In the playoffs, we made it to the playoffs, unlike Chicago, but we lost in humiliating fashion. I think the score was like 59-20. A complete embarrassment. Jimbo Fisher, who was our coach at the time, he dips out. He feels like he wants to go to Texas. Not Austin, not Dallas, not Houston, Texas A&M. So we lose our head coach, right? He takes all his recruits with him. And now we've got good old Willie Taggart. Willie Taggart. This team was one of the worst teams I ever witnessed in my life. To where I, as a fan, have to genuinely question my sanity on why I'm enjoying this team. I remember, I'm still young at this time. We played Virginia Tech on opening night. We had these really cool, like, black jerseys. I'm getting hyped from home. I'm like, yeah, okay. It's Virginia Tech. We don't lose to Virginia Tech. We lost this game. With cool jerseys on, we lost swaggy, but we lost. And I sat on that couch. Whoa. Pause on that. I sat on that couch crying. Because to lose to Virginia Tech is like an abomination. That was really sad. A very sad moment. And that was just the beginning of the end, to be honest. Because we lost a whole bunch more that season and the season after. And We lost to Arizona State in a bowl game, but I know that they don't be playing football like that. Unless Cam Scatterbo is on the roster. 2 years after that was the worst loss that the program has ever suffered. And it was to Jacksonville State. Before you ask me, I'm going to ask you. Where is Jacksonville State University? Do you know? Matter of fact, just name the colors. Name the colors of Jacksonville State University. I guarantee you cannot. Because nobody knows what that school is. It is an FCS school. Meaning that their resources and their ability to recruit players is just fundamentally less than any like high-level D1 school. So it's ridiculous we lose this game. I'll put the tweet on the screen. Like, I still have this in my phone because I remember from that moment being confused. Like, we just lost to some dudes that they planted the flag on the field. That's crazy work. They planted the flag on us. Like, anyways, now we're in the Mike Norvell era. Shout out to Coach Mike, right? And this era at least was better than Willie Taggart's era because we had a couple really good years, led by our new quarterback, Jordan Travis. He went from just kind of a regular quarterback. He was really good at running, but that was all he was known to do. He was a scramble merchant, low-key, his first year. But as he started getting older, he started really developing. And the first game I remember being like, okay, he's got it, was LSU. We beat him. And nobody expected Florida State to beat LSU because LSU is an SEC school. But we beat it. And then we went 10-3 that season. We beat Oklahoma in a bowl game. Like, that's impressive, you know? The next season, now we're really primed to do something big, you know? Because we've recruited well. And even though freaking Travis Hunter flipped from Florida State to Jackson State, not Jacksonville State, Jackson State. We have a lot of problems with Jacksons, so shout out to all the Jacksons watching this video. I hope you're happy. Even though Travis Hunter flipped, we still have a very good team. Wish Dion, who played at Florida State, didn't take him away, but whatever. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. We go undefeated. Undefeated that season. We win every game. We beat LSU, we beat Florida, UF, and we get to 13-0. It came with a cost because Jordan Travis gets injured by some random dude from Alabama State. This Alabama State game, Jordan Travis snaps his leg. That was the last play of his career. He gets injured that game. He's out for the rest of the season. And even though he got drafted to the NFL, he never played again. Gone. Maybe you're asking me, oh, Josiah, but you said the team was really good. Like, okay, they still have a chance. Yeah. Because we ended up winning that game, and then we beat Florida with no quarterback, and then we beat Louisville. Yeah, screw Louisville. We beat them with no quarterback. The problem is, in college, the playoffs is only 4 teams. There were a few other good teams on the board. There's Washington, there's Texas, there's Alabama, and there's Michigan. And there's Georgia. Alabama beats Georgia in the conference championship game in the SEC. So Georgia's out, right? So now your choices are Alabama, who has 1 loss, Texas, who has 1 loss, Washington and Michigan are undefeated. So you're pretty sure that those 2 are going to be in, right? So they won their conference and they're undefeated. You might be saying, didn't Florida State do that too? Yeah, but they don't care. The committee doesn't care. What they would have done in a normal world would have been Alabama and then Florida State. But Texas is Alabama's only loss. So they keep Texas in at 3 and they slide in Alabama at 4. But where does that leave Florida State? At number 5, on the outside looking in. And all of a sudden, now we don't have a playoff spot. All the great players on the team. Keon, I love cookies. He was on that team. Jared Verse, dude on the Browns talking crazy. He was on that team. Didn't matter. No playoff appearance. And better yet, we have to play Georgia now in our bowl game. Half our team opts out, and we have another disgrace of a performance. They dropped 63 points on us. Steph Curry can't even drop 63. And we lose by 60 points because we only scored 3. I think I just I don't know. Maybe I gave myself some melatonin and went to sleep. I really don't know. That was a horrible game. And ever since then, Florida State's been trash. Alabama, a couple seasons later, last year, that was my first year back in Tallahassee for college, so I was hyped, Okay, we beat Alabama, let's go. We lose to Virginia in double overtime. We lose to Pitt, and then we lose. And then we lose to UF. Florida State likes to torture me, but I really do feel like there's a common denominator here, and clearly it's me, Maybe I should just curse teams like I'm Danhausen and just decide to be a fan of a team so that they lose. Maybe that's what I need to be doing. So LeBron, I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy on Philly with Jaylen Brown, Mr. Fifth option on his own team. I hope you're happy with Tyrese, Maxey, and Joel Embiid, street clothes, whatever. Do your thing, LeBron. Anyways, thanks for watching this video and stuff for now. I'm sure we'll have 5 more minutes worth of content by the end of this next season of sports, but thanks for watching me rant about sports and stuff, I guess. I don't know what to tell you, man. A few of you out there probably are in a worse situation than me. Like if you're a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan and a Sacramento Kings fan, I bet you're pretty mad at me right now. But to be honest, when you've tasted victory, defeat stings that much more, So, good luck to you guys and your sports teams out there. I can't even wish these guys luck because it works against me. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you on the food.